All right, all right. Welcome to the Crypto Hero Show. This is Jay Scott, aka the Crypto Hero. Here we are with October week number 4. It's almost Halloween time, so let's get into it. So today we are going to talk about Bitcoin bumping on the ETF news, Elizabeth Warren on the rampage, Wall Street Journal fake news, Gary the Bear, Bitcoin to the rescue, and of course, the crypto memes of the week. Let's get on into it. All right, folks, how you doing today? Let's get right on into the news. It's been a fun week, but remember, the Hero Life Crypto Show and Crypto for the Rest of Us does not provide financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. This is educational purposes only. All right, let's get right into the market news. As you probably know, we had a really good week this week, right? This was a lot of fun with Bitcoin pumping. Yeah, so it pumped up to 35K before settling into about 33, 34 range. Now, I don't know about you, but Monday was a lot of fun watching this go. Now, last week we had that fake little news, but this week it was really more about the anticipation. And we'll talk a little bit about why that happened today. But we could see that basically Blackrock was getting ready for the SEC to grant them their Bitcoin ETF. And apparently what BlackRock was doing was they were seeding the account. So seeding is the process of providing initial funding for the ETF to be launched. Now, this funding is typically provided by a bank or a broker dealer and is used to purchase a few units of the ETF's underlying assets. In this case, they were buying Bitcoin, which was driving up the price. That was a lot of fun to see. Now, once the creation of these units have been purchased, then the ETF is ready to roll. And as soon as the SEC gives them the clearance, these ETFs will be available. And apparently, what we saw is that they had a QSIP number or a DTC Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation ticker. So it was $ IBTC. And so that was actually in the system, and then it was taken down, and then it was put back up, and there's lots of anticipation. All the eyeballs are on this. It makes sense that the market's it's jittery. It's ready to go. So I can tell you, this is an interesting quote. This is the U.S. wealth management industry will likely be the most addressable and direct market that would have been the most net new accessibility from an approved Bitcoin ETF. That was from Galaxy Digital Research associate Charles Yu. It was a little bit wordy there, but he says that as of October 2023, assets managed by broker dealers are 27 trillion, by banks 11 trillion, by RIAs 9 trillion, collectively totaling $48.3 trillion. That's how much assets are probably available to buy these ETFs. So you predicted that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, approval of the Bitcoin spot ETF would add almost 75% to the Bitcoin price within a year, potentially attracting over $14 billion in inflow. Such a move would put Bitcoin price back around its late 2021 peak, which was 70,000 per Bitcoin. Yeah, anticipation of the ETFs will be approved soon and is rising our analysis, and they suggest that products could see significant inflows, primarily driven by the wealth management channels that we just mentioned. So, folks, this just puts it in perspective for me. This could be huge. 70K, maybe by the end of the year, probably before April, which is the next halving of Bitcoin. Now, it may take a few months for all the brokers and the dealers to contact their clients and let them know that now they can get in on Bitcoin. And they probably would recommend at least 1% of a lot of portfolios move into these Bitcoin ETFs. And 48.3 trillion. And if just a 1% of that comes in, it's gonna soak up all of the available Bitcoin out there, and that'll just shoot the price up. It's incredible what could happen here. Now, crypto is a little crazy sometimes, a little wacky sometimes, so you can't absolutely bet on this. And most of the time what happens is when you're not expecting something, something happens. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's going to happen before the end of the year. And I like that because then we can spread this out because we'll get this pump. Obviously, once these ETFs are approved, a lot of people are anticipating this. And then I think it'll slow down a little bit, drop, settle in for a little bit, and until we get to the halvening. And usually it's about 6 months, 6 months to a year after the halvening when the price starts to pump up again, because then we can just see that supply shortage because now each Bitcoin that is mined is halved how much Bitcoin that the miners get. So the supply is constricted even more. And so we've got this great massive demand, right, in this ETFs, and we're going to have this smaller supply. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what happens to price when this happens. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I hope you're excited with this. I hope you're in Bitcoin. If you're not, again, not financial advice, but you've got time to get in now. It's going to be 70K pretty soon, and there's a lot of people thinking 100K certainly by next year. So crazy times. All right, not so good news now. This is the reality of crypto. So this is Elizebeth Warren, and she's on her crusade against crypto. If you've been in the crypto space for any amount of time, you know that the government is not thrilled with crypto and it becoming the new financial system. And they say that they're just trying to protect us, but yeah, I don't think so. So you remember last week when I talked about the false narrative that Hamas was receiving crypto funds to help in their attacks? Elizebeth Warren jumped on here with the help of the Wall Street Journal. But her latest move is to falsely amplify this whole situation, that crypto was used to finance terror and that the entire industry, crypto industry, is just rotten to its core. And in a letter authored by Warren and signed by more than 100 lawmakers, which is sad, she pushed the top security officials for action in reining in crypto financing for terror groups, explicitly highlighting reports that Hamas had raised millions soliciting Bitcoin donations. But I think, as I mentioned last week, crypto analytics firm Chain Analysis, they already issued a report highlighting that claims of crypto playing a vital role in this terror financing were way overblown. And here's a quote: "Although terrorism financing is a very small portion of the already very small portion cryptocurrency transaction volume that is illicit, some terrorist organizations raise, store, and transfer funds using cryptocurrency." So this was a Chain Analysis blog. It says also that terrorist organizations have historically used and will likely continue to use traditional fiat-based methods such as financial institutions, hawalas, and shell companies as their primary financing vehicles. Now, hawala, for those of you who don't know, I didn't know, it's an informal method of transferring money without any physical money actually moving. It is described as a money transfer without money movement. Didn't know about that. So here we go again. This is par for the course, but it's sad. And so this next article, this is the Wall Street Journal. So they're the ones that had this article, or one of the articles that was talking about Hamas getting this funding in Bitcoin. And so some of the details, Hamas on October 10th reported a story with damning headlines: militants behind Israel attack raised millions in crypto. Now, blockchain analytics firms, including Chain Analysis, like we mentioned, but also Elliptic, have since refuted the idea, saying that the funding was likely in the range of a few $1,000s. But those statements, they haven't swayed the Wall Street Journal into making a statement or correcting it or doing anything. And the problem is it hasn't stopped prominent members of Congress, including Senator Warren and Sherrod Brown, from continuing to push this narrative of crypto being evil and cracking down. And so it's sad because you've got this mainstream media that they don't really understand crypto, and they just are really pushing this narrative. The government, in this case, the Biden administration, and certain people in Congress are pushing about crypto. They don't want to lose control. They are just finding an enemy to fight against, and really they're barking up the wrong tree. But you talk about the impact of journalism. The Wall Street Journal report has created a groundswell in Congress to crack down on crypto, even though the data behind the claims is clearly wrong. Elliptic, whose data was misinterpreted in the Wall Street Journal report, says the most prominent public crypto fundraising campaign has been operated by Gaza, now pro-Hamas news organization, and that only to the tune of $21,000. So money has apparently largely been frozen by the authorities. So following the debunking by Elliptic, Chain Analysis, and many others, the Wall Street Journal could easily have corrected its statement, but it has chosen not to. So clearly in cahoots with the government, cahoots, it's a good word, to crack down on crypto. And it's just sad because it's not only is it a lie, but it perpetuates this view of people that really don't understand crypto, that maybe aren't in crypto yet, that crypto is just full of criminals, that Bitcoin crypto is used because it's anonymous, supposedly, right? If you're in the crypto community, you understand blockchain, that it's transparent and that it's decentralized, which means that anyone can look at it. And criminals know now not to use Bitcoin or crypto because it can be traced back more easily than anything. Now, in the early days with Silk Road and some of the illegal activities from Silk Road and so on, yeah, I mean, there wasn't as sophisticated methods. People didn't fully understand crypto. Criminals flocked to it early on, but criminals don't really hang out much in crypto anymore to do their illegal bidding because it can be traced back. Fiat currency, dollars, euros, yens, whatever, much easier to hide from the government, the illegal activity. It's just a really silly argument that you would think that Congress would have some technical people explaining this to them, that this is a silly false narrative that really anybody can figure out now. And most people know this now. We have former CIA saying that crypto isn't used at all anymore by criminals. And if the criminals do, they're really stupid because they're going to get caught. And so even Hamas, who somebody in Hamas knew that crypto wasn't a good place and told people to stop giving them crypto. And maybe people that were ignorant that wanted to fund these terrorist acts were using crypto. They didn't know any difference. Hamas said, don't use that because it can be traced back to us. And so it's just a silly narrative. Yeah, it's just something we got to keep our eye on. Anyways. All right, let's move on. Still some bad news. We got Gary the Bear. Gary and Elizebeth on their high horses trying to shut down crypto. Unfortunately, he still has a lot of control in whether these ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, are going to be allowed. And he's had it out for crypto for quite a while. There's lots of speculation on why that he's doing it to become Treasury Secretary at some point, to get into the Biden administration somewhat. And this is the horse that he's trying to pin it on, that he's going to save us from crypto. He's made a lot of mistakes. And he's not only not saved us from crypto, but he's allowed some of the holes and the gaps in crypto to let a lot of bad people do a lot of bad things. SBF, ring a bell? Anyways, so it's a hard stance. And basically, he's drawn the ire of a lot of Republicans. So a lot of Republicans that really don't like what he's doing. And we're going to see what happens. But if whoever is elected in the next term, I don't see how he's going to get a position here, because even if the Democrats win and he seems to be aligning with them, he's made so many enemies right now, and he's losing a lot of court battles. So it's hard to believe that he would continue to hold out when there's so much evidence, so many organizations that want this. Obviously, there's a lot of money to be made by a lot of people, and they're pushing to have these ETFs available. He would be going against the grain big time. And I got to believe that Blackrock and the government are in cahoots anyways. And this would just make sense that he would cave on this and bow down to this because he's lost a lot of battles. We'll see what happens. I think that it will happen. I think he's going to cave in this, and maybe he'll just fade away into the sunset. That'd be nice. All right, moving on. I want to talk about Bitcoin and how powerful it is here. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of uncertainty in our world right now. We've got the wars in Russia and Ukraine. We've got Hamas and Israel. We've got China and Taiwan. We've got the southern border. Our national debt is out of control. Housing is becoming unaffordable. We've got lack of leadership, and Congress certainly can't make any decisions. We've got this undisciplined monetary policy that's keeping interest rates way lower than they should have for so long, and then jacked interest rates up so high and crushed some banks at the time, is just putting a lot of our lives in chaos. So there's a lot of chaos out there. And in times of uncertainty, humans want a sense of control. And thankfully, the world is now slowly realizing that there is another financial system available, a system that is championed by Bitcoin right now and has the potential to become a new financial instrument, a new monetary policy of its own. Now, it's going to still take a while, but I think people are seeing the stability now of this alternate asset class, and they're seeing the benefits from having this algorithmic monetary policy. And it's a very disciplined central bank, if you will, Bitcoin, if you've ever thought about it like that. But Bitcoin doesn't change. Its monetary policy will never change, unlike what's happening now, where it's just by the whims, SEC, the Fed, and the Treasury are being whipsawed and whipsawing us back and forth with all their crazy policies, just playing catch up all the time. So you've got changes in geopolitics, consumer demand. You've got articles in the media that influence the current environment, but these media can't influence Bitcoin. The government can't really influence Bitcoin. Bitcoin's running. Bitcoin has never gone down since it's been up. It can't be hacked. It's never been hacked. Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do. So the idea of this disciplined central bank becomes really important in this time where it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit scary. And I think more and more people are opening up to this. And I think it's exciting. So the market, they're screaming the message right now that we have Bitcoin that has risen 20% in the last 7 days, and it's up 100% this year. And so the people say that we're in this bear market. We're technically still in the bear market, but crypto's done pretty well. Bitcoin's done really well in last year. The thing that people don't understand is, it went down 70% from its highs, but now it's back up 100% this year before it's even over. And this is before the spot Bitcoin ETF is even approved. Like I mentioned at the beginning, once this is approved, watch out. If you're in Bitcoin now, watch out. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And so I think that we're finding that Bitcoin is a bit of a certainty in this world of chaos. So I just wanted to point that out. And we're going to go through a couple more slides here that talks about why Bitcoin, why crypto right now. Bonds used to be the safe haven forever, right? We were told that bonds were this perfectly safe investment. And people flee to bonds in times of chaos and in times of uncertainty. And that's what market analysis and investors of the past and economists, they would tell you. They still don't believe that it's not true, but it isn't. Look at this chart. It shows that Treasury bonds are down way down more than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's moving up and bonds keep going down. So we have this decentralized currency that's performed by an algorithm. It's algorithmic monetary policy, which provides the most disciplined monetary policy ever created, which is becoming better and better understood, which is why more institutions are moving into Bitcoin. And while the world is experiencing this heightened level of chaos and uncertainty, Bitcoin is the calm among the rough sea. So many investors on Wall Street and elsewhere have laughed at this statement a few years ago. But now you've got the Blackrock CEO, Larry Fink, going on national television calling Bitcoin a flight to quality during these tough times. It's unprecedented. So obviously they know there's money for them to be made here. But that also means that if you're in Bitcoin right now, the price is going to move higher. Would you rather be in fiat currency, anything to do with fiat, like the stock market, that is going down? The stock market, the S&P is down, or in this exciting new asset class that's going up. Will it go down again? Yeah. But do you have the discipline to know that it's going to go up and down and be in it when it's going up? And when it's down, buy more. That's what I'm doing. All right. So let's talk about altcoin season. So we know Bitcoin's doing really well. Bitcoin is having a great old time up here. And here's what's called altcoin season. So it's when Bitcoin moves up, it rises the tide of all other cryptos. And so this is how it works. So typically we've got money first starts to flow into Bitcoin. This causes this price surge. Everybody's getting excited. So it's starting right now. The next phase is Ethereum, which is the second largest cryptocurrency, typically outperforms Bitcoin because Bitcoin's so big, it's hard to move it up. Ethereum is smaller. And so people will start moving into Ethereum. There's talk that Ethereum, its potential is so great because Ethereum is like the computer. It's the computer that runs all the applications. So all the decentralized applications in crypto run on top of Ethereum for the most part. And there's just lots of utility. So that talk has died down right now because it's so much about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the dominant side. As everything starts to move up, there'll be more talk about Ethereum. Ethereum's price will rise. Then as everybody's making some money that's in crypto, some of those people will start to move out into phase 3 here, where now they're going into larger cap, other layer 1 protocols and other layer 2s, and maybe a few different utility coins because they're taking a chance, they're feeling good, they're feeling like the market's going up. And then eventually, when everybody's just going crazy over the market and it's going up, and everything's going up, people will start to move money into very small, mid-cap, small-cap crypto projects, under $1, pennies sometimes, and ride that wave up. Now, here's the issue. That's basically my plan. I've got money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've got a couple of altcoins that I've put, a little bit of money into. It's not very much in my portfolio, but I don't know if they're going to do great. I've done some research. Looks like these projects could do really well. Looks like they have a lot of utility that will be valuable in the next couple of years. And in a bull market, I think that they will definitely run up. And the cool thing is these very small projects, they can 50x, 100x, 1000x because they're starting off so small. And you only need one of those. If you pick one that hits one of these 1,000 times in value, you've done really well. You've done really well. So you all of this, of course, is in diversification. Of course, not all of your savings or your retirement is in crypto, but the portion that is, you also want to diversify into Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe another large cap. I would say Solana, just throwing it out there, not investment advice, but I like Solana right now to be my sort of third crypto. And then a couple small ones that I'm just playing with, and we'll see what happens. I'm also going to be layering out. As the market goes up, I'm going to be pulling out profits. Now, it's hard to do because you're like, oh, I'm going to be losing so much opportunity, so much money because the market's still going up. But you have targets, and you got to have a plan. So if you've got a plan that says, as this particular asset moves up into this range, take 10% out or 20% out. Let the rest of it ride up further if it's going to. Take some of that out to the point where when the market is going crazy, everybody's in. The best thing since sliced world, than sliced bread, then you get out because that's about the time the market's going to go down. Could be a year, could be 2 years. We don't know how long this bull run's going to last. It could go up really fast and down fast. It could go up slow. Who knows? The issue is, are you in? You got to be in to take advantage of it. All right, so here's just a little bit more information. This chart shows that the altcoins, maybe alt season will start to take off when Bitcoin hits 70, 75K. That sounds about right to me. Some think that Bitcoin will hit 100,000 next year. And sometime after that, you're going to have the halving. So there's going to be a lot of these altcoins that will be pumping. So the question is when. Watch this. So when Bitcoin gets up there, 60, 70, 70,000 bucks Bitcoin, we're talking altcoin season's got to happen. And it might start sooner than that. So the question is, do you got your plays in? You got to be studying. You got to be doing your fundamental analysis right now to figure out which of these coins might do well. And in a bear market, they can be really good projects, but nobody's assets are moving. In a bull market, everybody's putting money into everything and it's going up, and all of these will move up. So the question is, all of them are probably going to go up. There'll certainly be some that don't. But here's the thing you got to understand too about crypto. At the end of the day, within the next 5 years, certainly 10, 95% of all these cryptos are going to be gone. There's probably only going to be a few of these. Now, there will probably be one or two of these very small projects now that grow from very small that make it into the big time. And maybe some of these middle of the road layer ones that have been around for 4 or 5 years and really haven't done anything, Cardano, Avalanche, I don't know, maybe not, but maybe they'll fall out. But you're going to have Bitcoin and Ethereum. You're going to have a few of these top heavy ones. So again, my recommendation, not financial advice, is don't be in 50 different coins, even 20. Be in the big two, maybe 3, and then a couple small ones that you're taking a chance on. That's my recommendation, especially if you're new to this. If you're new to this, you're going to get excited. This bull market's going to come. You're going to want to get into all this stuff, and you're going to want to put in a ton of money. And I would just caution there's going to be lots more bull runs. You want to get in as soon as you can, but with a little bit of money, if you don't really know what you're doing. Especially learn how to buy Bitcoin, how to transfer, how to swap coins between exchanges and so on. And be comfortable with your hot wallet, moving your money off of exchanges so that you control your assets. You really want to do that. If you don't know how to do that, you've never done it before, drop me a comment in here and we'll get together. We'll talk about this. I teach people the very basics from knowing nothing about crypto, have never bought crypto, to buying crypto and securing it safely in their hot and cold wallets. And then you're in control of your money. And we start off really slow. We start off with low amounts of money so that you can get comfortable with this. You got to get your hands dirty and actually do it. Get in there, get a wallet, transfer some crypto. Once you do that, it's not quite as hard as you think. It's not as scary. And that what we're seeing now is all these big institutions are getting into crypto. So it's no longer this crazy asset class that's going to crash or that the government's going to outlaw. Now, as we mentioned here, the government in the U.S. is trying to crack down. They're making it a little harder if you live in the U.S. to be able to invest in crypto. Doesn't mean that you can't. We all still are. We just, it's being a little harder. If they even shut it down more, all the projects will go somewhere else in the world. It's thriving all over the world. And that's the great thing about it. You can access it, you can trade it, you can invest in it anywhere in the world. It's open, it's decentralized. No one can control it. So it really is this really great asset to be into. It's why I love it, and I hope you love it. And it's why I do these shows, because I really am excited about this, and I want you to understand, if you haven't got in yet, how exciting it is. How also, during the bear market, I was still in. I was dollar cost averaging into Ethereum and Bitcoin all the time, because I knew that eventually this is going to pop, that the bear market wasn't going to last forever. And that's the time you want to accumulate. And so if you're not catching this full bull market, or you're like, I really want to, but you're a little bit cautious, that's good. That's how I was the last bull market. And I got in very slowly, and then I held tight and accumulated big time in the bear market. And now I'm positioned and ready to really do well in this bull market. But I also got to know when to get out. You got to know when to get out. You got to take profits, because if you just stay in and then you watch it right up and then you watch it right down, that's not fun. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. If you don't have one, leave me a comment, get in touch with me, get onto my socials, and I'd love to talk to you. Hey, let's have some fun. Let's take a look at the crypto memes here to wrap it up, because that's fun. I love crypto memes, so let's pop in here. So this one, some of these, you got to scratch your head a little bit, but you've got Bitcoin taking off. Okay, Bitcoin's at 30,000. That's good. And then you've got these crypto bears that are like down in the bull market. It's like drops down to 10K, and they're still waiting. And this was me. This was a lot of us. When crypto dropped from almost 70,000 down to 15, 16,000 and been hovering around 20, 25, we're standing on the jetway and we're waiting, because it's coming back, baby. And now we are in that middle ground. We watched it take off. We're in that middle ground, and we're just waiting it to soar, baby. We're waiting for it to soar. So what's this one? It says, okay, market goes up. Looks like a good investment. All in. Small little dip. It's just a healthy correction. So that was me last year. I've been dollar cost averaging. I bought in at 60,000 and it's going down. Just a healthy correction. And okay, this is getting really boring. And next thing you know, what the? And that's what's happening now. It's the what? These are called God candles that spike up here. And now we're going. We had some God candles last week. Now we're moving out. It's a good time. It's a good time, baby. And when the bear market finally ends, there you are. You won. I won, baby. The market beat me up, but I'm still here. I hope you're still here. I hope you come back next week when we have some more crypto news. We're going to have hopefully more good news, but either way, we're here to stay. Thanks for watching. And again, if you would like some help in learning how to invest in crypto, drop me a comment below and we'll get in touch. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.